Today we're going to talk about contact groups. Okay, sometimes we'll see a word that we're not familiar with. Okay, so we have to use some of these strategies to help us figure out an unknown word. Okay. So sometimes it can be the definition, sometimes it can be the same word, sometimes it can be an opposite, or sometimes it can be an example. All right. So we're going to read about a hike with cinnamon. So what I want you to do is put your finger on the first one. First sentence. Okay, you got first sentence. Y'all see it? Okay. And then read as I go. All right. I promised I would help walk, feed, and take care of Cinnamon. That was one of Eden and his twin sister Eve both told their parents when they got a dog for their 11th birthday. But that was 2 months ago, and Eden was exasperated on days when it was his turn. Eden walked Cinnamon right after he got home from school. Even when he was tired, Eden was encouraged by Cinnamon's energy, and the two of them was becoming good friends. But Eden's sister Eve was another story. When she could have been walking the dog, she was often talking on the phone or emailing friends. Once she even told Eden she would pay him if he could walk Cinnamon for her. And a couple times he had filled Cinnamon empty dinner dish when it was Eve's turn to feed her. Eden had just about had it with his sister. He told her so. She promised to do better, but she still forgot to do her part at times. One weekend, their parents took the twins and Cinnamon on a dog's first excursion. They packed a picnic and set off on a hike through a state forest. Suddenly, they heard wrestling in the nearby trees. Y'all okay? Mm-hmm. All right. And deer galloping away from them, its white tail flashing. Before any of them realizing what was happening, Cinnamon bounded out after a deer, jerking her leash out of Eve's hand. What would they do now? The dog didn't know these woods. She would get lost. Eve ran after the dog ahead of the rest of her family, and Cinnamon, "Come, Cinnamon," she cried. They could see the dog running further into the trees, but she paid no heed to Eve. "Cinnamon," Eve screamed. Still, the dog ran on. Eden sprinted up to Eve. "Let me try," he called. "Come, Cinnamon, come, girl," and whistled loudly. They could no longer see or hear the dog. Eden's heart beat faster. "Here, girl, come get your treat," he called. A moment passed. He seemed like the whole family was holding its breath. Then suddenly Cinnamon burst out of the trees and went right to Eden. He took hold of her leash and gave her a biscuit. They all praised Cinnamon for obeying him. "I learned something today," Eve said. When all was quiet again, "I think Cinnamon likes Eden better than me. He has taken much better care of her, so she listens to him. For Cinnamon's safety, I need to care for her better." Cinnamon barked, as if to say she agreed. The whole family laughed. All right, so now that we have read the story, we're gonna look at some words that was unfamiliar. So what you're gonna do is read the passage. You're gonna look over your passage and find words that you did not know.
Do we underline it or circle?
A circle. Then you're gonna circle your words that you do not know. Go ahead and get 2 minutes. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Okay. And then you can circle at least 3 of them. At least 3 of them. Circle at least 3 of them. Thumbs up if you got your 3. You're gonna just do 3 of them.
Can we do 4 if you want?
4 times, but at least 3. At least 3. one more minute. Words you do not know. 3 of them. Okay? All right. Yeah, front and back. You can do front and back. That's fine.
Can we circle so we get on the board?
Can we start? No. Yes. That's good. All right. So can somebody share with me some of the words that they did not know? Alicia, can you tell me one of your words you did not know?
Encourage.
Encouraged. Which is it? Hold on.
It's the one that-
Can you tell me the sentence? Like where's on the sentence?
He said when he was hired, Anne was encouraged by Simeon's energy.
Even
Right here. Yeah, right there.
He says,
Oh, even when he was tired, Eden was encouraged by Cinnamon's energy. All right. Darius.
Exasperated.
Inspirational.
Yes.
Exasperation. Thank you. Yes, you're correct. Exasperation. All right. Any other words? Orlando.
Ascosin.
Exclusion. Yes. Exclusion. All right. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Anybody else? One more. Larry. Sprinted. Okay, so when we get on the other page, we're gonna do sprinted. Spell it for me. S-T on the back. R. I.
N.
All right. So those are the words we're gonna be looking at for today. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So when we're looking at a word we do not know, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look around that word. We're gonna look at the first sentence before the word. The first sentence before the word. So we're gonna do Eve. They are both their parents when they got their 11th birthday, and then we're gonna use the word use the sentence after. And the reason why we're doing this is because sometimes they'll give us a clue to what that word means. They usually give us an example of it, or they can tell us another word for it. So that's the reason why we look before and after. Okay. So as I'm looking at it, some of the words that I can see that it jumps out at me is he got home from school. Okay, his energy. And I also want to use even when they get tired. Eden was encouraged by Cinnamon's energy. We're gonna use that word, that sentence also. Tired. Okay. So now that I see some of those words, I think that Desmond, tell us what that word is.
Hold on.
Exasperated. So what I think that exasperated means is tired. So when I'm thinking about when I get home, I'm usually tired. So I usually don't feel like doing things. So I probably get frustrated if I hear I have to do something, right? So that's what we think. That's what I think this that word means. Okay. second word we're going to be looking at is exclusion. Exclusion. Okay? So now that we're looking at that word, what I want you to do is, I want you to work with your group and try to find the clues around the word that will help us find out the meaning of the word.
Okay.
Yes.
But I was going to say that word, and then when I said, hold on, I was just trying to be funny. That's right.
It's okay. So work with your, help your group. So we're going to help our group, and we're going to find out what the word is. So,
Simmons on the dog first. What's his name?
Okay.
Oh no, this is the word. That's the word we're looking up. That's the word we're looking up, guys. Circle it and then let's find out. Okay, guys. When you have the answer, write it down here. Write it down here, and let us know what it is. Because I see a lot of groups already found it. And then this place right here by the dog. This right there by the dog.
I won't trip for me.
Not my fault.
Dog said that. Alright. Boy, we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're looking for excursion. We're looking for that word, the meaning of that word. Okay? Excursion. So we're trying to find out, what does excursion mean? Alright, so that's what you're looking for in your group. We haven't got to the other words yet. I just want to see this word. And then when you find the meaning, when you and your group find the meaning, put it at the bottom where the dog is. I'm trying to find the word excursion. Trying to find it.
I was reading right here. It says one second their parents could use
Okay. Now, thumbs up. Thumbs up if you're ready. All right. So share with me. All right. So first, what we first?
Separate.
Huh?
Separate.
You did what?
Circle it.
Oh, yeah. You circled it? All right. And then what do we do next?
Underline.
Okay, so we underlining the first sentence. The first sentence what? Oh. Before.
Oh.
Before.
And after.
And after. For the sentence and after. Alright? So what are some of the clue words that we have that sticks out to y'all? There you go. Some of the cue words from those two sentences that we just underlined. Hold on 1 second. No, some of the cue words that jumps out to you in these two sentences that we just underlined. You want any help, Darian? All right, Orlando, help Darian. What's some other words? Cue words, huh?
They and set off on a hike.
Okay, hike. Set off on a hike, and then picnic. You said picnic, right? Okay, I don't know. Picnic. City arc.
The state forest.
Okay, state forest. State forest. Okay. All right. So now that we've seen some other words that kind of jump out at us, I see also like weekend, and then cat. Okay. So now that we've seen some of those words, what do you think that word means from the cue words that we came up with? Felicia.
Going on a trip.
Okay, a trip. Going on a trip. Good. Orlando.
Explore.
Huh?
Explore. Like you going to explore something?
You going to a pool?
Explore.
Explore. Explore. Yes. All right. So those are two good ones. So excursion means that we're going on a trip, exploring, but on probably not a long trip, but I say short trip because it says the weekend. Okay. So you can say going on short trip. Because he said that they went somewhere on the weekend. Weekend is usually 2 days, right? Not a long journey. All right. So go ahead and write that down. You can write at the bottom. You can write at the bottom what a dog is. Okay, does everybody got it down?
Yes.
No.
No.
Got it. Thumbs up if you got it. Thumbs up if you got it. All right. Now, the last word that Larry told us was sprint. Okay, so we're going to look at sprint. We're going to look at the word sprint. It's got Edith and then sprint. Everybody got a circle. Let me make sure everybody got a circle. It's over. Flip your page over, and it's sprint. We're going to find out what sprint means.
I know.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do it on your own. You're gonna independently read. I want to see you using your strategy. So I need you to see underlining and then put your meaning by the, I don't know, by the deer. I want you to put the word and then the meaning that you feel like it is, what it means. Right out to the side to the deer. And then you're going to turn it into the box. Make sure you have your name on it.
What do we still have to do if we already know what it means?
Yeah, just so you feel a little practice.
Okay.